Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I'm Langston. In this video, we're going to be talking about how to dream in a foreign language. So we're going to be talking about how you do it, how long it takes, does it mean that you're fluent in a foreign language, those types of questions. So please like, comment, and subscribe, share, and let's get right into the video. So language learning is a process. A lot of people say, oh, how do you have such a perfect accent in all of these languages and you only studied them for 1.5 years, 2 years? It doesn't seem like you're translating when you're speaking the language. You're like speaking so naturally and fluently. Do you dream in Mandarin? Do you dream in French? Do you dream in Spanish? Yes, the answer is yes, I do dream in other languages. I dream in about 4 languages consistently: English, Spanish, Mandarin, and French. And a lot of people say, well, how did you do it? What can you give me some tips? Can you give me some advice? What should I do? How long does it take? So in this video, like I said in the intro, I'm going to explain to you. So it really starts off with, in order to start dreaming in a foreign language, you have to train yourself to start thinking in the foreign language. So I'll make another video on this, specifically how to think in a foreign language. But if you don't have time to watch that video, I'll explain some of it here. I'll give like a little overview. So I'll immerse myself with content. So I'll just absorb the language. So I'll listen to a lot of foreign language music or music in my target language. I'll watch a lot of films and movies and shows on YouTube. And I get inspired by a lot of YouTubers, non-native YouTubers who speak the language pretty well. And that's how I get inspired to keep going with my language learning. So that's what I usually do. And I train myself just to listen to the sounds in the beginning. And eventually, with the songs, what I usually do, I download the lyrics, and I use something called image memorization. So I'll match the words that I see in the songs with the images that I see on Google. So instead of looking up, what a word means on Google Translate, I'll instead search what the word means, but I'll type it in on Google Images. So I match the image with the word with the image. And that's how I learn, because I don't think translation is really helpful, because along with translation comes interpretation, and comes, differences, and comes culture and all of these other nuanced things. So I usually start off with the music and the lyrics. Then I'll do that for about 6 months. So with some languages it'll take me less time, for some languages it'll take me more, like Mandarin, because it's a different script, more time, and also because it's a tonal system. With languages like the Romance languages, so Spanish or French, it'll probably take less time, and I just have to get used to the sounds and the pronunciation. But after that stage, I move on to the intermediate stage, where I start watching clips on YouTube and movies and things. Also, in the meantime, while I'm doing all of this, I'm reading newspapers, books, and other stuff. But usually when I'm watching these videos and things, I'm not using subtitles. I think this is an interesting thing, because there's a lot of debate in the polyglot community. Should people be using subtitles when they're at the, watching movie stage or films and all of this? Should we put subtitles on? Should we take them off? Because it's distracting, we should be focusing on what's being said. It's a difficult conversation, and for me, I never use subtitles, just because it's distracting to me. Also, I don't find value in it in the long term. I just like to watch the movie, figure out with visual cues what's going on. After that stage, really just a matter of getting more vocabulary, getting used to the language, and speaking with people on a daily basis. If you don't have time or you don't have the resources to speak with people, Something you can do that has really worked out for me, and it's kind of weird to some people, but I find it very helpful, is if you speak to yourself. Okay, so you can do something so easy as if pretend you're speaking on the phone with someone, but in your target language. So I don't know if you're learning Spanish. Hola, que lo que manito, yo estoy aquí tranquilo, something like that, and you can practice by yourself in that language. It's just a matter of repetition and practice. And eventually you're going to notice that it's going to start becoming naturally because you're using the language in every part of your life. Okay? So that's at the same stage when I would recommend that you start, reading books, reading a lot of newspapers. Like I said, trying to speak to people, getting out there and speaking with people, speaking to yourself. There's actually an application that you can download on your phone. It's called Hello Talk, where you can do like language exchanges between, you can do a language exchange. Okay, if I'm an American and I speak native English, and there's a person from Spain who only speaks Spanish and doesn't speak English, we can do a language exchange if I'm learning their language, Spanish, and they're learning my language, English. And we could say, okay, can we speak in Spanish for a half hour and then speak in English for a half hour? That's something you can do also. And that works out really well usually and, accelerates a lot of people's language learning. So something that I also get a lot is, I kind of mentioned it, but how long does it take? It all depends on your language experience. It depends on the person. It depends on the language. It depends on the linguistic distance. That's the linguistic term for it. That is, how different is your target language from your native language. It depends on a lot of factors, so that's a difficult question to ask, but for certain languages, it may be different for different people, and I can't really give you a concrete answer. Sorry about that. But the last question I would get is, does it mean you're fluent in the foreign language when you start dreaming in the foreign language? No, I don't think that's correct. There's two other languages that I have dreamt in, but I don't consider myself fluent in them. I can't really hold a conversation past, talking about the weather in one of them or two of them. So I don't think I would consider myself fluent in those languages. Also, fluency, I just assume that you guys are all assuming fluency is equivalent to high proficiency, and I'm going to make another video about what fluency means and what proficiency means, but fluency just means to flow, okay? So, yeah, you could have beginner fluency, intermediate fluency, advanced fluency, near native-like fluency or native-like fluency, but I assume you guys are talking about, like, native-like fluency, and because, like, no one speaks a language perfectly. Even in English, I'm probably making a lot of mistakes right now in English. That's my native language as well. It's difficult to, conceptualize what fluency actually means because a lot of what we read and hear is like fluency means perfection. And that's not true because not even native speakers speak the language perfect. Really, that's all for the video. If you have any more questions, please comment down below. Like this video, share the video, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. See you.